Hey everyone, it's Brandon at Westcott. Today we're going to talk about reflectors. So we're out here today in Toledo, Ohio. We've got our model Jordan with us today, and we're going to show you what the effect is with different color reflectors on our model. So in talking about different colors of reflectors, we've got a variety. We can talk about white, silver, sunlight, gold, black, and even diffusion panels. So what do each of those things do? Starting with the white reflector. A white reflector is a very soft reflector. It's going to give a little bit of fill light, but it's never going to be powerful enough to overpower the sun or even act as a main light. Now when we talk about a silver reflector, that's the reflector that's going to yield a lot higher of a contrast. It looks really great in black and white, and with the specularity of a silver reflector, you're going to start to be able to compete with the sun or your main light. Now a gold reflector is useful when you have somebody that has fair skin and you want to add some warmth to them. It's also a great reflector to use if you're under tungsten light or if you're shooting in golden hour and you really want to match that main light source. My favorite and one of the most popular reflectors that we have to offer is the sunlight reflector. The sunlight reflector is unique because it has a weave of the gold and the silver, so you get the specularity of the silver but the warming factor of the gold. Now the black surface reflector is kind of a unique one. You might wonder, why would I have a black surface on a reflector? But it's quite useful if you're trying to block light. Let's say you're out and shooting on a sunny day and you've got some lens flare occurring because the sun is coming in at an angle on your lens. You could simply hold your reflector with a black surface up on the side of your lens, and that would actually block the light from coming into your lens and kill that lens flare. Another useful scenario of when you would use a black surface reflector is when you want to subtract light. If you hold the black surface reflector really close to your subject's face, it actually draws light away from their face and it can create more of a dramatic shot. The last fabric worth mentioning is a diffusion panel. Now this is a reflector with diffusion fabric within it as opposed to a reflective surface. This is really useful if you want to cut down the sunlight. Let's say you're out in the middle of a field, you've got sun glaring down on your subject's face and you're just hoping that a cloud comes by. It's not that easy sometimes, but if you have a diffusion panel in your bag, you could simply hold that up, that acts as your cloud, and you get really soft, even light. Remember, the larger the diffusion panel, the softer the light will turn out to be. Now the next thing to consider when selecting your reflector is the size of the reflector. Now, it's really important to know what your subject is and to have the appropriate reflector with you at that time. If I'm going out and I'm shooting macro photography, there's no need to really have a 50-inch reflector. It might be overkill and might just weigh your bag down a little bit. But having a 14-inch reflector or a 20-inch reflector might be the perfect size for you. If you're doing more of just headshots, maybe a 20-inch to 30-inch would be the correct reflector for you. And just so you can kind of see for size comparison, this is a 30-inch reflector. Now the next step up would be a 30-inch or 40-inch reflector, and these reflectors are perfect for headshots, half body, even 3/4 length shots with your subjects. Today I'm using a variety of 30-inch reflectors with Jordan because for what I'm doing, they're absolutely perfect. Going a little bit larger, we would then get into the 50, 52-inch, or even the 48 by 72-inch reflectors that we offer, and those would be very useful for full body shots or even if you're taking photos of groups. Now the final thing to consider when choosing the right reflector is the actual shape of the reflector. The Westcott Illuminator Reflectors have a square shape with rounded edges, and what this gives you is about 15% more surface area than a circular reflector. In the end, it just means you're getting more bang for your buck when purchasing your reflectors. Now remember, there's 3 different things to consider when choosing the right reflector. The first is the surface material, and that's based on the lighting situation. The second thing to consider is the size of your reflector, and that's based solely on your subject. And finally, the shape of your reflector. A square reflector with rounded edges will give you more coverage than a round reflector. For more information on all of our reflectors, make sure you visit fjwestcott.com. We'll see you next time.